Hey, everybody, before we get into the show, I just want to tell you I'm going to be in Long Island June 6th and June 7th at Governor's Comedy Club. Please come out to those shows. It would be very nice to have my own people, in the audience instead of having to perform for people that look like they're my mom's friends who do not like me and compliment the feature because he's older and say, you should have been the guy. Tickets now at punchup.live/Brendan Sagalow.
The Rap Jack Black and Sagdaddy, I'm back at it with a fantastic podcast for your asses. Yapping in a trap like a rescue cat, and the rescued up like they're waiting on the Batman. You tuned into the dude who threw booze back, blacked out, woke up drunk, covered in bruises. It's Sagdaddy the pod, an odd fellow, the great white chubby, I'm becoming a marshmallow. It's Sagdaddy the pod, so sit back and relax, cause like a broken arm, I got a cast now. It's Sagdaddy the pod, you made a good choice, so enjoy, don't be annoyed, now here's my dumb voice.
I feel like when you stop drinking, you become more introverted, and like you're like, I don't know how to fucking talk to anybody, and then something just clicks where you're like, oh, I'm actually fucking way better at speaking than all of these drunks right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? It kind of wraps around where when I stopped drinking, I was so worried that I was like, oh fuck, dude. Not only is everything gonna be not fun, but I'm not going to have any conversations with anybody.
Yeah, I just feel like I lost my whatever smoothness I had. Like, when everything, you have those days where everything's just hitting and like you walk in somewhere, somebody says something to you, you have a slick reply back. That was like what drinking was for me. Now I have nothing. Somebody says something to me. It could be about like the weather. And I have good days, but most days is like small talk. Somebody says something about the weather, and I'm just a zero. Just blank out completely.
Especially about the weather, dude. I actually do not mind talking about the weather because it's fun to talk about. You're like, what? It's fun to complain about.
We all experience it.
But I've never had that smooth. I've never been smooth. Anybody says anything to me, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's my whole life.
I actually have a question. My first question for you: what is your real name?
Ooh.
Are we allowed to? Are you allowed? Are you?
I've kind of kept kayfabe for quite some time. I'll tell you when we're off.
Tell me when you're off.
There might be, if there's any fans of me listening, they might know at least my first name.
Yeah. But, that's all I wanted. I didn't want your social security number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask you after because.
Let me think about it for a while. Maybe towards the end.
You're scary, dude. You scare me.
Why?
Because you're just.
Is it sunglasses?
It's the sunglasses. Leave them on. But just in general, you're scary. You scare a lot of comedians. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, the sunglasses is a thing because, like, it's actually, people don't realize, like, people think, and I got a lot of shit too, the first pods I was going on, like dad meet and stuff like that. When you wear sunglasses, people think it's a thing where, like, you're too confident. Where it's like, oh, this guy's aloof. He's too cool for the room. He's wearing sunglasses. He's big time and everybody. For me, it's actually the opposite. I'm like the little kid in Big Daddy, where I put the sunglasses on. It makes me feel like
100%,
I'm
dude.
okay.
I'm fucking wearing my.
Go for it, man. We both have chains with our names on them. We both have sunglasses. This is what rappers do.
I wish I had a big clock chain that I could wear too.
I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, they ought to bring that back.
Yeah, something digital. Does this look good? Do I look like an asshole? Do I look like I'm just copying him?
Well, you are copying him a little bit, but it's cute.
I didn't invent the sunglasses, man.
I know.
It's up for grabs.
It's like a Mitch Hedberg thing to do too. You know, you put them on and you're kind of like, there's a wall. Now I feel that when I go out, if we're speaking about it, fucking being introverted. You know what? I'm taking the glasses off. I feel like I can't connect with the glasses on. But I'll wear sunglasses when I go out and just to like keep that like I wish I could wear them inside and stuff, but I went to a stupid fucking stand party and I was like, I'm gonna wear glasses. The minute I stepped in and I was wearing glasses, I went, nope. Like I'll be the weirdo that doesn't normally wear sunglasses for some reason wearing sunglasses.
People think you're attempting a thing.
Yeah, that's like exactly what it is. Especially if I'm wearing this. Dude, I remember going to the cellar wearing a do-rag and Cannon was like, are you wearing a do-rag? And I immediately like took it off. I was like, yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, the do-rag is one of the boldest of the moves.
Yeah.
I pull it out every once in a while. But like the sunglasses for me is like, I just feel more confident with them. I also have I've mentioned this before, but I might have a little touch of the tism a
Yeah.
little bit. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of it is in my eyes. I have trouble eye contact a lot of the time, and my eyes kind of dart around
Right.
a little bit. So like,
Right.
and once I appear in the sunglasses, I feel like, not to toot my own horn, I feel like I'm somebody who looks great in sunglasses.
You do.
Once I appear in the sunglasses, when I take them off, everybody's bummed out. It's not my eyes.
Dude, I gotta see your eyes for a second.
My eyes don't
now.
look as good as you would think that they do. Right now.
No, you're a handsome guy.
And they're very dark, and actually, my eyes might actually be scarier than the glasses.
Your eyes
so.
are scarier. So when you're like, because the name, I mean, that's an essential thing. And if you're like, I'm not gonna, which I respect and all that, but what else about like where are you from? Can you even say that?
North Carolina, Raleigh area.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you still live around there?
Yeah.
So you go to Good Nights a lot, right? Or what's the comedy club around there?
Yeah, good nights.
Yeah, weren't you were just at a comedy club, right? With Lewis, right?
Yeah, Lewis came to Good Nights. He fucking shut the shit down.
That's
it was
so
amazing.
cool, dude. Yeah, that's so cool. So how long have you been rapping? And did you go as like how long have you been rapping?
I'm 31 now. I started rapping I started writing raps when I was 12.
Wow.
And
Me too, dude.
yeah.
I was like all Eminem inspired, so I'm like 12, 13 years old being like, kill my wife, all that shit.
That might be an everybody thing. Everybody's like rap, and then some people just never stop. I just never stopped
Yeah.
writing. And then 14, when I got into high school, that's when I started putting out songs. And we would do
Wow.
things like one of my friends had like a early MacBook, and it came with GarageBand. And once I found out I had GarageBand, I knew from like school and shit, you could like record songs. They
Yeah.
had beats and they're already loaded up.
Yeah.
And we would do a thing on the weekends where we would like get high or drink or whatever and be like, yo, let's make a fucking song. Let's just fuck around and make a song.
Dude, yeah.
And it got to be a thing where I kept wanting to do it every time, and they didn't want to do it anymore. They're like, hey, it's kind of like, we don't give a fuck about making the songs. And I was like, I'll write your guys' parts for you.
and
they're like,
you're just making songs,
and then
they're like, okay.
yeah, after a few times, they were like, bro, maybe you should just do this. It
Right.
seems like something you want to do that you're like making us do. And I was
Right.
like, okay.
Dude, that's so funny. Yeah, instead of you just doing one verse and then your friends reluctantly being like, okay, I was at the park and I had a fun, you just did 3 verses.
Yeah.
Where would you record them? So would you make them like, you're in high school, you just record them in your room, or would you make like a soundproof thing?
My first song that I ever put out, I recorded on a Dell laptop, or I might have had the Mac.
Wow.
Computer's not important. I'm getting hung up on
Hey,
non-important details.
I'm into it.
But the mic was a Guitar Hero USB mic that I plugged straight into the laptop.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first mic I ever used. And then I had my boy Spooky. He's been on one song with me, but that's my boy. He was my boy back when I was like 14, and then he found out he was really into rap just like me.
Mhm.
And he started setting up. He was like, I'm gonna set up the studio in the closet. We just hung up blankets. He got like the cheapest mic from Guitar Center we could
Yeah.
get, and then we just spent the summer just recording songs
Dude.
and shit.
Nothing more fun than that too. When you're young and you're like, look at us doing this thing. Like me and my friend Zucker, we did the exact same thing. We made a little sound booth in the closet. Horrible. We were horrible. I was horrible. I was better than him, but still horrible. And we would just do that. And it was just so much fun. And then we found fucking booze. And
Yeah.
everything went. So
Yeah.
what were like, you've had multiple rap names.
Mhm.
What was the one before Crack Amico that you were going by, and then you were like, oh, I'm gonna do this because this, like, did you get your name from doing that what the fuck am I trying to say, the competition on Real Ass Podcast?
100%.
So what were you going as before that?
So I had maybe like 2 or 3 different iterations of things involving the word raw, RAW, because here's something I'll give you. My initials, RAW.
Oh, now you're gonna have me fucking thinking about what your name is. I'm gonna be going Ryan. Rob. You got a Rob vibe. Now, don't answer it. Just look at me. Yeah, but you got a Rob. Doesn't he have a Rob vibe?
I'm not getting robbed, but
What are you getting?
Is that because you think I'm gonna rob you?
No way, dude. There's no. Of all the things I think you would do to me, robbing doesn't seem like the one.
Yeah.
I think you would just like make fun of everything I have in my house, and then my body.
Yeah, I would do that to you if I didn't like you, but like I'd like to be your friend, so I wouldn't do
Me
that.
too,
to you.
dude.
I kind of started things off shitty between us. I'll just say it.
No, I think it was me. I think so we'll tell the people is that you had contacted me to do a song because we were gonna like rap together.
Yes, this was very early on in my tenure as Crack Amico.
Yeah, and to be fair, I didn't know you like that. I didn't really know who you were.
Nobody did.
Nobody knew. I didn't know how good you were or like even like just for who you are. So as like into that I felt, but you also which now I'm like, I think about this sometimes and I go, damn, that actually would have been a fucking great idea and we should have done that. I'm calling you Rob. No, see, it's so weird to be like, Crack had said, we was like, it was such a good idea. You were like, okay, we'll set up this fake rap beef, and then, people will get into it, which is really smart. And then at Skankfest, we would come out and do a song together that nobody knew, and people, I think, would be like, whoa, I don't think people would lose their fucking minds for us, but I think they'd be like, okay. Imagine if we did that and it just nothing happened.
5 people would be like, holy
what
shit.
the fuck? Yeah, like nobody gave a shit.
And then the rest of the crowd would be like, who are these guys?
Hilarious, dude. Yeah, we're opening for Palmer's and or Palmer Squares. And great dudes, dude. I want them on the show too. Those are great guys. But at the time I was busy too. I was like, because I have this thing with the music that I need to figure out because I get that feeling every once in a while, like I want to write a song. I want to like make a song and then I'll do it and I'll want to release it because that's what you want to do. You want to release them. And then I'll just be like, but my heart and my career and my life is in stand-up.
Yeah.
And I think even at the time, I was like, I'm not good. I'm not good at this thing that everybody knows is like what I'm promoting. I was fine, but I'm not like, I wasn't good, So I'm like, I really want to focus on stand-up. So that was legitimate. I did want to focus on stand-up. And then I put out a song that I made, which I forgot which one that was. But I did make a song and I put it out. So justifiably, I understand why you were like, what the heck? Like, what the fuck? This guy, like, totally. Or what did I even said I'll do it, and I didn't do it, right?
I think what happened was you said that you would do it, and then I didn't hear from you, and then you hit me back maybe like a month or 2 later and was like, it's just not going to work, which was completely respectable.
Right. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess it's one thing if I had ghosted, I guess. But still, it was like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, man, that would have been so fun. What's wrong with me? Like, I really should have done that. And then, so whatever. I don't even think you wrote back. Maybe you did write back. I think you were like, no problem or something. Where
we could probably go through.
I don't want to go through it, dude. I don't want to bring that back up. Because I was like, I had never experienced what had come after, which was like you making a YouTube about my music videos, so like focused on me.
One of my very first streams, that I did was talking about Sagdaddy's music video.
Which, you know what? To be fair, you were complimenting it when it deserved the compliments. You're like, hey, this wasn't that. You gave it a fair.
And I will stand by that. I did not say anything like extremely disrespectful.
No way. I don't even think you did. I just. You did say something that I laugh at all the time because that video for that song Hicks, we were just going around and filming on porches and stuff like that, like stairs.
Or didn't you do it outside of?
We did it outside of Dangerfields.
Yeah.
I shot a lot of it on outside of a closed down Dangerfields. But we were also just walking around doing it on stairs and stuff. And you went, this should be called Stairs, the music video, or something like that. I actually was thinking about that the other day. That was funny.
The reason that I was able to pick that out so quickly though is because, in fairness, I've done the exact same thing. I've made the exact same video. You
Right.
just go into the city and you turn a
Right.
camera on, and then you're like, oh shit, what do we do? Like,
Right.
we just have the camera and we
Yeah.
have the setting, but so I did that multiple times and then got to a point where it's like, okay, if I make a video, I'm going to go in with a plan.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do so. Of course, I recognize it'd be like you watching like an open micer make mistakes that you made
Yeah,
already and
exactly.
picking them out.
And you said that in the video too. You were like, to be fair, I did this, and when you got to the second music video, you were like, and he's already got an idea. Like you did give me the enough credit. But the thing that really like fucked me up was that I had never had anybody make a whole video about me, and like it scared me because I was like, oh God, like what, you know, you never know what's
What is he gonna uncover?
what is he gonna uncover? Yeah, exactly. Like how much is he's gonna talk about how much of a fraud I am, and then everybody's just gonna know that I'm a fraud. And you know, whatever, life goes on after that. But I was like, dude, it legitimately kept me up. I was up all night, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Because you were also you get a lot of views, and people like your videos. So I was like, oh my God, this isn't just like also so like it was so not it didn't have to happen. I could have just sent you a verse or something like that. Like we could have worked together or something.
Yeah, I think the way I was looking at it was I was so like throwing stuff against the wall, and you got to understand, like, when I winning that rap competition or whatever it was, I
Yeah.
was like, all right, what's the shelf life on this? Like,
Right.
are people gonna forget in a month from now, 2 months from now?
Right.
Kind of in a place now where it's like I've developed an audience,
Yeah.
and whatever I'm rapping about, I put it out. They're probably gonna listen to it. The
Yeah.
comedy songs are gonna get the most always, but still, I've built a trust with the audience that they're gonna check for my shit. I didn't have that back then.
That's
So I was looking at
awesome.
anything, and I was new to this whole world. I was looking for anything. It was like, okay, well, if he makes a song with me, I'll make a song with him. We'll put that out. If he doesn't, I'll turn that into content somehow.
Yeah, which is totally like I would have done the same exact thing.
Yeah, but that's like, I don't know. I wouldn't do shit like that now. I think my biggest regret about that, I would never like apologize for like shit that I actually said because it was like good natured. I was just coming at you, but it was weird because we didn't know each other
No.
at all, and I was kind of parasocial at the time. Like I knew who you were, I knew who all the Gas Digital guys were,
Right.
but you didn't know who I was. And of all the people that I fucked with, and especially these days, I try and punch up when I fuck with people.
Sure.
Like when I talk shit about people, it's the type of people that have like millions of dollars. Like, why would they give a fuck?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But for you, it was like it was a bad representation about how I felt about you because I actually was a fan, listened to you on pods, and thought you were really funny and thought your stand up was good. So I just felt bad that it probably made it seem like to you, like, oh, this guy thinks I'm a joke. He thinks I'm somebody that could be fucked with.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was essentially that, like, oh, great. That's what really was scary, because you know we're fighting trolls all day. You gotta. I mean, I don't. Do people like even send you bad messages or anything? I feel like everybody genuinely like thinks you're great.
I get them. I get them all the time. I've got my people that really don't like what I do. A lot of them are just like racist,
Right.
and think if you're white and you rap, like you're a traitor to the
Right.
white race.
Right.
So I can just dismiss that.
Right.
But no, I get them. But it's like with the shit that I talk, I've reserved myself to the fact I have to have a thick skin because
Yeah.
But I might feel differently if all I was like you. All I was trying to do was just make good, funny shit and just put it out into the world, and people are still trying to like crush your dreams. Whereas me, I'm talking shit. I expect people to
Yeah.
shit on me.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
par for the course, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean that's even, and I think you said it in the vlog or the stream. You were like, I'm just busting his balls, and if he can't take this, like, you know, which I totally respected. I was like, yeah, dude, if I can't take this is like not even that bad. You're not even saying things that are like horrible. So I was like, if I can't laugh at this, then what the fuck am I even doing?
But even me now, like, if somebody did the same exact thing, like made a stream and they were making fun of my videos or some shit,
Right.
I'd be able to handle it. I wouldn't be like crying about it or anything,
Right.
but I would be like, probably don't want to be friends with this guy. Like,
Yeah.
kind of fuck this guy for
Yeah,
fucking with me. I don't know him.
Yeah, I mean, there was a part of that where I was just like, I was like a little angry. I was like, what the fuck? But I think that kind of subsided, and I was like, oh, whatever. Like, I did send you a message, and I was like, dude, I don't even remember what I said. But
And I remember you went on rap and you were talking about
yeah.
you guys
Oh
were
yeah, I
talking
remember
about the
talking about it
stream.
a little bit. Yeah, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
he let me have it.
But that's what I kind of understand looking at it now is like I've been doing this for a few years now,
Right.
and I can put myself in your shoes and could see how you'd be weirded, like I'd be weirded out by that. So it was a misstep on my part. I don't think I did anything crazy, said anything
No.
crazy, but it was a bad misrepresentation of how I felt about you.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that, and even reaching out before all this to like, let's do the pod, and also, sorry about that thing. You know, that was like huge. Like we've moved past that. We said hi to each other at Skankfest, and it is what it is. Like I was like, we're cool, whatever. It
Yeah,
is
but
what
even then
is.
it was kind of weird because it was
It was
like
a little weird. Because we
Yeah.
saw each other for the first time, and it's like there's this like weird thing of like, are we gonna fight? Like, is this guy gonna kick my ass for some
Yeah.
reason? But what was really terrifying about it is like, just like terrifying in the way of like, holy shit, like anything can really change people's perspective on you in like the sense of like, I don't know. There's like comedians that people do not like. You know, you could be known as like the worst comedian in the world because a group of people could just change, and and there's nothing anything you can do to stop that. I think. I mean, I've got a couple comedians in my head that I'm thinking of that probably attempted that and still failed, but you know, you never know when the tide is going to change on you. So I was just
I've
like,
got one that I do a show with. His name is Robbie Goodwin, and for whatever reason, he really was in the barrel there for quite a while, and to
Yeah.
a lot of people, he still is.
Robbie was a little bit in the barrel.
Yeah, it just happens where like an audience. There's a weird thing that happens where like an audience decides like this guy sucks, we're gonna shit on him, and that can happen so many times that like surrounding comedians go, oh, the audience doesn't fuck with this guy, now we can fuck with this guy. You kind of saw it happen with Shab a little bit, where comedians started shitting on Shab, and they did it with Bert now too,
Yeah.
where even comedians will shit on this guy now because they're like, oh, the fans said they don't like this guy, now we'll fuck with this guy.
Which is so fucked because I mean, as much as it's like, it just goes to show that like everybody's fucking clout chasing, everybody's trying to, you know, you like lily pad off of people, and it can, you know, yeah, like the thing with Shab, like you now like there are huge comedians that are like, yeah, Brendan sucks, and you're like, ooh, like that must really be such a bummer for that guy. So much to quit, you know what I mean? He quit doing
Yeah.
stand up.
I think it's I just think it's in poor taste that like if you want to say Shab or Bert sucks or whatever, it's
Millionaires,
like
yeah.
fine, but then you're gonna say these other, like you're not gonna say anything about these other guys. You've
Right.
just like, now this is the guy that you've heard it's okay to shit on.
Yeah.
So I'll shit on this guy, but I won't talk bad about these guys because
Right.
they might get me something.
Exactly.
You know?
It's all weird politics and shit that's like so gross. But what I like about something that you did was you made that song about Bert and Tom, and then you made a song about Bert in like putting him in a good light, which I thought was
Yeah.
really cool because you could have easily just kept going down that road of fuck these dudes and whatever, even if you don't, because I've heard you say like you don't really super feel that way. You're just like, these guys are easy targets and it's fun to do.
The only
right?
person I actually hate is Tony Hinchcliffe. Everybody else is just jokes.
Now, what is there a reason for that, or like, have you guys ever met and then something happened, or you
No.
were just like fuck whatever that dude
His
is
voice, just
into?
when I hear it, my chest gets tight.
It's like, yeah,
But even
'cause-
him, I don't actually like hate him. Like I just really like dislike him and the
Dude,
way
yeah.
he talks and
that song you
his
made
whole
about
thing.
Tony was so funny too, dude.
But like even him, it's like if I could be real, you know, he just had on Tim Butterly on Kill Tony,
Yeah.
who's like one of my best friends in this biz,
Yeah.
and I want to see great things happen for him,
Yeah.
and for him to get on a platform like that, it's like my boy just got like shown to a lot more people, and he should because he's really funny. So
Yeah.
it's like I can't 100% hate Tony.
Yeah,
'cause
you
he's
can-
helping out my boy.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. At any moment, you can be like, all right, that's cool. Now you're showing some cool shit that you can do, and I'm gonna take that in.
I
Like
just can't watch him.
I
I
don't
just can't
watch that
watch
show
Tony.
either.
And I feel bad like bringing up this kind of stuff on here because it's like you're cool with everybody.
I'm relatively cool with everybody. I really just don't have a. I mean, even after like what went down with us, I was still like, he's fine. Like I do have a hard time like holding a grudge. I think, right? Do I?
It's over little stuff, and I feel like it's more like your close friends that you get
Yeah,
rattled by more than like strangers.
Yeah, my close friends I'll get, but with like Tony, it's like he's always been nice to me, and do I like the idea of comedians going on and then getting trashed on when they're bad? Even I don't know, but I can't really do anything, but I can for sure laugh at what you're saying about him or what you say about these guys. But I also really love that you've got these opinions on these guys, and you allow them to change. You allow them to be like, well, Tony had Tim on, and Butterly's like the fucking man, so that you get a point for that.
Yeah, and it's like the Mean Machine, the song you were talking about, where it's like I'm kind of spinning Bert in like a positive light. That's because like first of all, I don't want to become the guy who you're gonna know all of my opinions on everything.
Mhm.
Like I want to stay unpredictable. Of course, I did kind of just use Bert as a reason to shit on other people that I shit on in that song.
Yeah.
But it also felt like it's like how long are we gonna hate Bert for? And the same thing happened with Bert, where it's like everybody's fucking piling on this guy, and you got all the like YouTube guys, like the podcast cringe channels and shit like that, and they're just relentlessly, and they know it's the flavor of the week, so they're shitting on this guy because they know that's who that's who Reddit is shitting on. It's like, I don't know, man. You gotta turn the tide a little bit every once in a while. And this is after Bert completely lied about me. So.
What do you mean he lied about you?
Um,
Is this known knowledge, or like are you sick of talking about it?
Oh, this is known.
Okay. To be fair, too, before we get into this, Bert is a very nice dude. Like I've met him a couple times. He is fucking nice, and I'm not just.
I actually like Bert.
I'm not just saying that. I am so down to hate people when I actually do not like them. Like I will be open about that. But Bert has just always been he'll treat you so nice. He
also like fucking he takes like Big J and Soder on those big tours and like gets him out in front of a bunch of audiences, and
he puts money in our boys' pockets, which is very cool.
Yeah, and he's actually like the most you could say about Bert if you were trying to be mean is that like he's annoying. But you're not gonna say like Bert is like a vindictive sociopath climber that's like he's just I think Bert more so than anybody is genuinely who he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's just being himself.
Yeah, which is a climber, vindictive. No, just kidding.
But the flat out lie that he told about me, which maybe it's just an embellishment. I know he likes to tell stories. I don't know the Russia train thing. Who knows what really happened there?
Okay.
It's a good story.
Okay,
it's a good story.
Okay.
But
comics do that. Comics do lie, and tell little stories and stuff like that.
They take liberties.
We take liberties. Yeah.
So he said that he saw me at Skankfest and that I ran away from him.
Oh.
Which would be a good defense if I was scared because he wouldn't catch me, but this did not happen. I'll tell you what did happen.
Okay.
Thursday at the pre-show, there's a Skankfest pre-show. They
Thursdays,
do like, the past couple years I've opened that up for whoever the secret performer is.
Also, not to lick your balls anymore, but you fucking killed opening for what was it? Everlast was there? Was that Everlast?
That was the first year, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you fucking people were like, you did that Skank song, and everybody was like, "Fuck yeah!"
I really appreciate that because like one of my biggest insecurities is my performing because that's what I've done less than anything else. Like I've probably performed live music probably like 10 to 15 times, so I'm super green with that.
As of right now, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, maybe more after Skankfest and stuff. I don't know, but not very much. Not as much as I should have over half of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always like in the studio. That was my thing. But the pre-party, this was last year. I've got the song you mentioned, Two Bears, One Grave.
Yeah. Great.
I started to do that song. So the beat's playing. I'm going into it. All of a sudden, the record shuts off. I'm like, what the fuck? And the first thing I'm thinking, it's got to be something I did.
Right.
Because I made my backing tracks and I'm like, oh, I probably fucked up one of the backing tracks. And
Right,
now they're
right.
scrambling back there. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I just started, I was like, so dating is weird. I just started going into like crowd work. I don't know.
Right.
That was my instinct. I
Classic.
had no idea that there were conspiracies going on behind the scenes. Apparently, and I confirmed this with multiple people. Apparently, when I started playing that song, Bert went into the booth and started pulling out money and said, "Turn this shit off."
What? No way. How did he even recognize the beat? Like, how would he
Oh.
even recognize the song?
Oh, he's listened.
Bro, if you wrote a song about me, I would never touch that song for the rest of my life. I would keep that as far away from me as possible.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. And this has been confirmed?
Yeah. I mean, I can't
Whoa.
confirm it personally.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of this happen. So I can't, but
Okay.
like 99.9%.
Reliable sources.
Yeah.
Reliable sources. Jesus Christ. And was this, now this news that you heard this, was this before or after you made Mean Machine?
Oh, this was way before.
Wow, so you still heard that he did this and then was like, whatever, I'm going to give him props in a song.
Yeah, because, I mean, it is kind of funny that he, like, had my song turned off. Like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And he was, like, booing
guess
while I was
so.
on stage.
Was he really?
That's funny.
But was he doing
Eyewitness
it as a,
accounts, yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Was he, but he had to be joking, right? Being like, boo, this sucks. That's what I would do.
He was fucked up. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe he was a little in
God.
between. But,
Wow.
I'm moved that my words could affect someone in that way.
Yeah, dude. You're
a very
I mean,
successful man.
Look, your comedy right now is very fucking nobody's saying shit. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
we're all feeling a certain way. We're all feeling a certain way about certain people, and nobody wants to say anything because this fucking business is so fickle. You could be gone like that. You know, unless you, or just have no friends. You know what I mean? You could like be, I guess you could continue a career, but nobody's going to want to go near you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You could become a social pariah very quickly.
Well,
and,
that's
like,
that's where I can't even expect you guys, like, it's more on the people that can't take another comedian talking about them than it is, because I can understand why you wouldn't want to talk shit about a bunch of comedians, because you're gonna have to go work with them.
exactly.
You're gonna have to be in the green room with them,
Exactly.
and if they're not taking it as a joke, then that's gonna be weird. It's gonna be awkward. And why would you
Right.
make your life harder like that?
Yeah.
I have Skankfest where I'm around those guys.
Right.
So I have one time throughout the year where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see fucking.
Right. Has anybody? Oh, but it didn't Shab confront you? Someone confronted you, right?
I confronted Shab.
Wow. See,
I
that's
told him I was gonna beat his fucking ass. No, I'm just kidding.
dude. But you walk around Skankfest. You got your chain. You got your glasses. Like, I don't feel like anybody wants to come up to you and, like, I don't think you should have any fear of that.
Yeah, I don't have a fear of anything happening, but I do have a thing of like, it's just awkward,
It is awkward,
you
yeah.
know. And I'm not.
Right.
You know, I told you I had trouble with small talk. So
Right.
that's like another level.
Right.
I'm not a confrontational guy. That's another thing that went out the window when I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Totally. I am the same
And
way.
I'm also like, to be like, whether I believe what I'm saying or not, or it's jokes or whatever you want to call it, like at the end of the day, if I see Tony Hinchcliffe at Skankfest, I'm not gonna be coming up and like Alex Steining him and like recording him and
No.
be like, this fucking gay guy over here, he doesn't want to look me in the eye. Like, I'm gonna turn the other way and be like, I hope me and Tony don't have a conversation, because that'd be really fucking awkward.
Right. Right. You also don't really have to worry about, you know, maybe you say something about Tony or Bert or whatever, and then they're in a room where a bunch of people are like, oh, who should we get for da-da-da-da? And, you know, for this awesome job. And then they go, oh, what about Sagalow? And they go, and Bert's like, fuck Sagalow. He was talking shit in that song or whatever. Like, you don't have to really worry. That's a very understandable thing for me when it comes to, you know, being open about like that kind of stuff. I understand to be like, well, let's not, because I don't want to do that, and also I don't want to lose a job if something happens.
Where I would draw the line is if like one of those guys came up to me and were trying to make me take back the things that I said.
Oh,
I'd tell them I was joking.
Yeah.
probably even if I wasn't, I'd be like, it's jokes, man. I'm just joking. You get it. You're a roast master or whatever.
Yeah.
But if they were like, you're wrong and take back what you said, I'd be like, brother, this is how I feel.
No
I don't
way.
know what to tell you.
It's just, yeah, dude, that's so funny. And it's also hilarious that it's like comedians are very sensitive. So it's like, that's why we're like, point, out. Because if you have enough points, enough sticks on you, nobody's going to be able to touch you. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Was that smart at all, what I just said?
I completely agree.
Yeah. So it is funny to see like all these sensitive guys being like you just ripping on sensitive dudes that are like, what the fuck, dude? It's very satisfying to see. I also loved how you had a song where, because Mark had said something about being afraid of you and being like, yeah, that guy's like, you don't want to, I don't want to ever hear anything, blah, blah, blah. And you use that. I thought that was so like, just very cool. I thought that was like something like, not to be as stereotypical talking to a rapper thing here but very Eminem thing to do, where you're like, yeah, you better be afraid of me. I thought that was very cool. You were like, and Mark, you better be afraid.
Yeah, which like Joe List, cool guy. I came off stage at Skankfest one time. He was like, that was fucking amazing. I was like, dude, your special is great. He's always said great things about me. Mark, I don't know what the problem is, man, but you got to get on the wave, man. Get on the crack
there's a
wave.
problem?
I want Mark to be on my side. He seems a little skeptical or something. That one time he was on rap, he was like, why would I can't believe somebody would make a whole song like shitting on comedians like this.
Right.
It's like Mark is a guy that I would think would understand, like, comedians are always shitting on celebrities, pop culture, all this shit. And it's like, I'm doing the same thing just with you guys.
Right. Well, that's another thing that I think the comedians need to know about is like, if you're going to be a guy that is going to shit on everything, you got to I mean, even Mark, who spends a lot of time thinking about little things like that, should understand why you're like, yeah, I'm going to make a whole song about comedy and comedians and all that stuff.
And it's also like what I do. Like, so it's like, for him, I could see how Mark, like it would take a lot of work for him to make a song probably. But for me, I've been doing it forever. It's
right.
Like,
now, do you make your own beats too?
That's pretty much the only thing that I don't do.
Where do you, if you don't mind, where do you get them? You get them from someone else makes them for you? Do you go to like Beatstars.com or?
Yeah, like Beatstars I use a lot.
Beatstars rules,
Lease
dude.
Beats,
What's that, Lee's Beats?
You can lease the beats.
Oh, Lease Beats. I thought there was some sort of Asian beat website. Lee's Beats. Yeah, dude. Have you had any things, because this is what I'm afraid of with all my songs, because I use Beatstars, that these guys are going to be like, hey man, like you owe me money or something.
I've chalked that up to like the thing happened with Juice WRLD, rest in peace, where his song The Shadows in that song,
Lucid Dreams,
blew the fuck up, and then Sting came after and was like, bro, that's my fucking music, I made that shit. And I always looked at that as like, what a great problem to have,
right?
That your song blew up so much,
right,
that Sting is coming after you for the fucking beat,
right?
Like,
well, isn't there that thing that like Sting gets money from P. Diddy all the time? Like apparently P. Diddy pays Sting like something crazy. Look this up, like $7,000.
That might be for something else.
But no, that was for yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Somebody look into that.
Somebody look into that. Nicole, how much does he pay him a day, essentially?
Well, this looks like it's been kind of, deliberated about for him sampling every breath you take.
Yeah.
So he said he was joking that he paid him $5,000 per day, but it sounds like it might be $2,000.
That's crazy, dude.
Damn.
$2,000 a day. I mean,
for I'll Be Missing You.
Yeah, for I'll Be Missing You.
Which I prefer to I'll Be Watching You.
Yeah, I'd rather that because that's just a way better song.
Yeah.
But you ever think about like, I was thinking about this the other day because I was listening to Biggie and I was like, yeah, I bet this guy was a bad guy. I bet this dude was like way worse than we think. Like if you're hanging out with Diddy, not only that, but like I was like, he must really be doing all this stuff that he's talking about in these songs.
We were there were some allegations going on. We were on Durag and the Deer Tag
Yeah.
the other day, and we were talking about how a lot of people speculating Biggie might be a little light in the loafers.
Gay?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Some questionable lines, the partnership with Diddy and the implications
Right.
there.
Right. Some of the lines are a little questionable.
He would wear some zesty clothes at times.
Right.
When nobody was doing it.
I think I have I mean, I'm not gay, but I do feel like I have a gaydar. Like I can always kind of tell when someone's gay.
Yeah.
I don't get any of that
It's in
from
the
Biggie.
eyes.
It's in the eyes. Yeah, maybe that's why you can't maybe that's why I'm getting thrown off, because one of Biggie's eyes is like fucking going that way, and I'm like, I can't tell. Is he
That's why I'm
gay?
wearing sunglasses, by the way. So you can't tell.
You know, I could see it.
Yeah. I've kind of put that out there a little bit.
No, I actually don't get any of that from you. Are you God, I don't want to ask too personal questions. Are you married or anything like that?
I have a longtime girl.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And is she, we don't have to talk about her, but so you could just tell me I don't want to talk about it. But does she like listen to comedy and stuff? Does she know all this stuff too?
I mean, not like I do.
Right.
Like she's not checking for all the pods and stuff like that. But like
Right.
she knows who like Soder is. Like if it's like a bigger name, like
Yeah.
Shane's special, we might watch that together.
Right.
But she's not like very peripherally. She knows everything I do.
She must be pumped whenever you're like, holy shit, Bert heard my song and is talking about it. She must be like, what the fuck? That's great. Or does she ever like be like, well, I can't believe you're saying that. Are you sure? Like, is there any of that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, but there's the thing again where it's like, I was with her when I wasn't sober. She's seen me
Right.
come such a long way. I think
Yeah.
I've built up a little bit of trust now. And when I am saying something crazy, I explain it to her. I explain why I'm saying it. I explain what the joke is.
Yeah,
And she's kind of
yeah.
on board.
Yeah, instead of
But we
being
do-
like drunk and being like, I'm just gonna do it. What do you fucking want? Yeah.
Yeah. And like, yeah, but we do get to share those moments together where it's like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, Bert
Dude,
just listened to this on Legion of Skank. She's the first person I get to experience that
I
moment
love that.
with.
Yeah.
So
Have you written any songs about people that you haven't released? I'm sure, right? Like comics.
that's a good question.
Or are you just like, there's no fucking way I can't release this. I have to. Or is like, are you like, ah, shit, I have a couple hot bars about Dave Smith.
That's I would never attack Dave Smith. That's Louis J. Gomez, best friend.
His boy, yeah, his boy.
And I'm ride or die with Louis J. Gomez for life.
Lewis is
I'm like
the
that with
man.
Soder too.
Soder fucking
There's just some
rules.
guys that they could be fucking
Yeah.
They could be literal rapists, and I'm on their side.
Boy, do I know it. Soder is the man. Not to put those two together. Like, yeah, you go. They can literally be rapists. I'm like, Soder's the man. Soder is the man. No, yeah,
Louis J. Gomez is confirmed rapist. So. And I'm sorry, I need to watch what I'm saying too. The monetization. and
I
shit.
think we're far enough where you're good, right,
I'm on my stream where I've given up all hopes of monetization. So.
dude? It also. Not only it's not like it gives us a little challenge where I'm more into it for the challenge. I'm like, how far can we get before that fucking yellow little thing comes up?
They give me a yellow $sign 5 seconds after I fucking monetize my shit.
You go, hey everybody. They go, we're done.
They
Clink,
didn't even
clank.
listen to it. They just know. They know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Dave was just a name that I thought would be funny to say. But is there any comedians that you like wrote something and you're like, you know what? Or have you said, is there a line where you're like, that was a little too far? I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, so those are two very good questions. I'll answer the first one. To be honest, I wish I was this type of guy, and I feel like Jarv is this type of guy. Which Jarv was
he
great on
rules.
your show.
Jarv fucking rules,
I love
man.
Jarv. He's the man. Every time I see him live, I'm like, what the fuck am I even doing?
He puts on such a good show, dude.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy that'll just have songs just chilling. Like he's just making songs all the
Yeah.
time. You hear about other guys like big artists that'll be like, yeah, I actually have like 100 songs just sitting in the hard drive. I've never been that guy. I'm lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
If I make a song, this is what happens. I have no songs in the bank whatsoever. I'm always putting them off, and a lot of the time, I will actually say that I'm gonna drop a song. Like if I get an idea for a song, like Predator or whatever. This is what I did. I was like, Predator's dropping in 2 weeks, and I put the date out, and I'm like, all right, I gotta write it sometime.
That's great. That's great. I work the same exact way. I'm actually trying not to work like that because then I don't focus too hard on the substance of it. I'll just put some like with Thin Lips, my special, I was like, I'm setting a date and I'm gonna just get it done by then.
Yeah.
And now those jokes are so much better now. You know what I mean? I like doing I'm like, I don't even do any of them anymore because I'm like, oh fuck, I should have waited like a month.
Mhm.
I think I had like new tags on the trans bathroom bit like a week later. And I was like, fuck. I was like, these are so
Well,
much better.
you changed your whole style on stage.
I know.
you were like, now I'm, doing more like
I'm riffing a little bit
Yeah,
more and
yeah.
I'm a little bit more silly. Yeah, my whole style changed within like a month. But yeah, that's so funny, dude. Yeah, I mean, especially with songs, that's a good way to work too because you can just be like, all right, I'm gonna get it out, I guess. Like I gotta put that out.
I really relate to if you've ever seen the South Park documentary
Yeah.
where they're like fucking like basically like they finished it 30 minutes before it dropped on Comedy
Yeah,
Central.
and
That's
they're-
what I'm doing, like editing my videos. A lot of my videos that come out on like 7 p.m. on a Monday,
Yeah.
I was editing until 6:20.
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, 6 Days to Air is such a good special, and like I don't know how they or documentary or whatever. I understand working like that, but I'm too stressed. I would be like, oh fuck, and then I'd put something out that I'm like, this is for sure bad because I'm bad, and I didn't, I didn't give myself a little bit more extra time, which I think he even says in the documentary. He's like, if I just had an extra hour,
Yeah,
or whatever. Do you feel that way when you put it? You're like, oh man, like that line could have been better if I just, do you ever put something on? You're like, this could be better if I waited a little bit longer.
yeah. I have entire songs like that where I'm
Right.
like, this whole thing was kind of rushed.
Right. I think people feel that way with whatever they do. Like if they're putting something out, they're like, everything's a little bit better with time, which is why you just got to put shit out.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I got to give the deadline because if I don't, I just know I'm so lazy.
Yeah.
Something comes up every day, and it's just I'm never gonna put anything out.
Yeah.
So that's the way I got to do it. But to your question, I write a song, and I'm either like, this is bad, this can't go out. Maybe I'll revisit this.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's going out
Oh,
because I need
sure, yeah.
something to fucking go out. It's been like fucking 2 months. I told people I was gonna put out songs more often. I'm still
Right.
not.
Right.
But so yeah, that it does happen sometimes where I'm like, I try not to force shit.
Yeah.
Like there have been like the Tom and Bert shit. I was thinking for a year or two before that. I was like, I'll write a song about these guys if I can. But the thing wasn't clicking. It wasn't
Yeah.
happening. Wasn't getting the idea. Didn't have an
Yeah.
idea for a hook, a beat, anything like that. And then one day it just hits you, and you're like, all right, I'll write it.
Dude, that's so cool. You just grab an idea out of nowhere.
Yeah, I really try not to, because people will tell you to write a song about this person, that person. Like a
Sure,
lot of people
yeah.
requested Andrew Schultz, and it's just
Right.
like I got nothing for the guy right now.
Right. Until until he fucking says the wrong thing or
I feel
steps
like-
to you.
Well, yeah, and then you gotta,
And then you gotta
but that
say
provides
something.
you the motivation you need to
Sure.
figure it out.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the moment I force it is like where people are gonna be like, this
Yeah.
was a miss.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, and then with what you're putting out, if they're songs about people and it's a miss, it might be even like a bigger, like, oh man, like, nah, L, dude, L take, L, like this, like, we like this guy or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody, you don't even have to answer this if you don't want to. Boy, am I, is there anybody that you're like, I've got something cooking up in my brain? Like, is there anyone new that you're in the way you were a few months ago or what few months before you released the Tom and Bert thing, in that way where you're like, I really want to write a song about frickin'
I mean, if I could
I
write
don't
it,
know.
if I could drop a new song about Tony every 3 months, I would. I just don't think people want that.
Oh, it might be it might be like Kendrick. When people will be looking at Kendrick going, all right, let him go. Let him go. You're beating the shit out of this guy.
No, but even like, no, not even like Tony. Like right now, I go through some periods where I feel very positive about kind of everything going
Yeah.
on. I don't really feel I have anything that I need to say about comedy. And
Yeah.
this year I've already dropped 2 songs kind of speaking on some comedy shit. So I'm kind of just like, that's the other thing too. I don't want every song to be about comedy, because that's,
Right.
again, you're going to be forcing it. I want to make songs about like the comedy world when I have something to say about it.
Yeah.
And right now, I really don't. I
Right.
mean, it's like, it is the thing where it's like, if an idea came to me for Schultz,
Right.
I'd go on it. But I don't have any.
Right.
There's nobody in the scope right now.
Right. And you're such a talented like songwriter that it would almost be like it would almost be a what's the word I'm trying to look for? A disservice to only be writing about stand-up comedians and stand-up and stuff. Like, I think like you could do, yeah, you're just a very talented guy, so you can it would be cool to hear like your personal life or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like your version of like a single. You're like, oh, this could be like a cool single that maybe like clubs could play or whatever.
I think it's time to start moving in that direction, because I said last year when the Cat Williams thing happened,
Yeah.
I was like, this just feels like the year where people are shitting on comedians and
Right.
talking about comedians. And I was like, I'm going to go full throttle into this dissing comedians thing. And this year, I started off kind of talking about the same shit, but I just feel like this year I never want to like make my audience think that I'm steering away from that completely. Like I was
Yeah.
just using that as a thing to get to this level where now I just rap like a normal rapper.
Right.
I always want to cater to that audience. I always want to be the guy that people look to for that.
Yeah.
So make a song when it makes sense. And whether if down the road it becomes like I make 1 or 2 or 3 songs about comedy in the
Right.
year.
Right.
But it is time to kind of branch out. And even if it's still funny songs or disses about broader topics or whatever, I do kind of want to start stepping into some, like, extend the web, extend
Yeah.
the reach, make
Yeah.
some songs about shit that you could show anybody that doesn't know who Bert Kreischer is, that
Right.
would think the song is good and think it's funny.
Right. And
you
there's
know?
always, you could always, it doesn't have to be a whole concept. Like the whole concept for the song is about this guy. You could have a little line here or there about
That's,
like,
yeah, I've been trying to do that more. And that's like, people like Eminem is like,
yeah.
he'd have a song and have a catchy hook. And it's not like you wouldn't call it a comedy song, but he's being very funny in the
Yeah.
shit that he's saying. So I can
Yeah.
also do that where like the song's about whatever, it's a catchy hook, but the lines are like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are you thinking of is an album in the future? Do you feel maybe even an EP of some sort?
Yeah, I've had it's weird to call it an album when you're not like, like signed
Right.
to anybody or anything, but I
Right,
guess
right,
that's
right.
what you'd call it. Like we used to call them mixtapes back in
Right.
the day. But
I thought a mixtape was like you rapping over a bunch of already established beats, right?
yeah, I think that's probably a good understanding of it.
Right. I guess like the word project is probably
Project, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably I dropped one the first year I was out called White Trash Jesus, and then I dropped a small EP called Fuck the World in 2023, and didn't drop anything last year. I've just been dropping singles.
yeah.
There's like goals that I want to reach, or I wanted to reach before I dropped a new project, but I think I'm about there. I'm thinking about dropping a project in October.
Dude, that would be sick.
Um,
I think I even remember White Trash Jesus
yeah,
when you put that out.
yeah, but I just I it feels like when you're working on singles, that's like the stuff you're gonna be dropping. Like you don't have to be tied into any kind of theme or anything.
Right.
You can just put something out when you think about it, and hopefully this catches. And that's kind of what I need to happen if I want to
Right.
grow more as an artist. But at the same time, you shouldn't go 3 years without dropping a project, even if nobody's listening, because
I
it's
agree.
making you lazier as a rapper.
Yeah.
You should deal with the creativity of concepts and a concept album, and you should show some respect to your fans and give them a body of work that they can appreciate.
Sure, I
you know?
totally agree with that. And like you could even tour with it and then develop those skills of being like a live performer that you want to develop and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's about time. I think maybe October,
Fuck yeah,
maybe
dude.
right before Skankfest.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for doing the show, dude. You want to plug anything?
Yeah, this was great. I'm sorry it kind of became like all about
No, I'm
me inside the Crackter studio.
Here's the thing. I don't. That's the name of the episode, by the way. I don't know anything about you. So getting down, being
Except
able
that
to
I was
like,
mean to you about
except
your
that you were
video,
mean to me.
your
Yes,
Steps
and
video.
and yeah, but yeah, you made fun of Stairs, the music video. Stairs, the musical. So this was like, I thought this was great. I love this, sitting down and talking to you and like getting to know you as a dude.
Me too, man.
And
I feel like
tell me your fucking name at some point so I could call you that.
RAW. That's the initials. But no,
Was your last name Weinberg or something? It was W.
I'm not affiliated with those people.
If
If I was, I'd be much more successful.
Yes, wouldn't we all?
They're great people. But yeah, this was great, man. I'm glad I got to come on here because I feel like I kind of took the step in the wrong direction with you to begin with, and I want you to know I respect you. Your stand-up is great. The videos you're doing with Soder are fucking
thanks,
bomb,
man.
dude. So yeah, this was like a healing moment
Yeah,
for all of us on the internet.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be calling us gay. They're like, look at these two homos.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care either.
I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Plugs, youtube.com/Crack Amico. I make music. I'm better at music than I am at talking. So go check it out. Trust me. Patreon.com/Crack Amico. Got a bunch of cool shit on there. I got merch. If you check out like my socials, my link tree, it's Crack Amico Rap on everything. And I do a podcast with Robbie Goodwin and Dalton Pruitt, the Crowder Boys, every Wednesday. So yeah, just check out all my shit, man.
Yeah, check out Crack Amico. Go look at his stuff. Check out his page, his Patreon, all that stuff. And as for me, you know where I'm at. Okay, and patreon.com/Sagdaddy the pod. And if you see me out in the streets, holla at me.
And comment if you want a song with Crack Daddy and Sagdaddy.
I want that. I'll comment that.
I want it too.
Dude, I want to do one with you. I want one with just us. I want you, me, Jarv would be cool. I also this was whatever, a year ago. When did we have Roan on? When did we have him on?
Yeah, he was pretty early.
He was down to do a song too. So
that dude is so fucking talented.
He's so talented. So
who's gonna be like the powerful
Who would be the anchor?
Female vocal of the chorus.
Nicole.
Absolutely not.
Here we are at the
Who sings? Does any comics
Do
sing?
we know any singers?
No.
I don't know that we need a woman for this.
Honestly,
You never do. You really never do.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Enough opportunities for them.
Yeah, it's okay. We're back now. You know, we're back. We get to say whatever we want. We're back.
We are back.
See you guys later.
The Rap Jack Black and Sagdaddy, I'm back at it with a fantastic podcast for your asses. Yapping in a trap like a rescue cat, and the rescued up like they're waiting on the Batman. You tuned into the dude who threw booze back, blacked out, woke up drunk, covered in bruises. It's Sagdaddy the pod, an odd fellow, the great white chubby, I'm becoming a marshmallow. It's Sagdaddy the pod, so sit back and relax, cause like a broken arm, I got a cast now. It's Sagdaddy the pod, you made a good choice, so enjoy, don't be annoyed, now here's my dumb voice. So recognizable, ski master, unreliable, diary of a guy who's higher than a freaking diving board. I'm tired, call me biting you as lame cause you align with your wardrobe. Give that back, you ain't that guy, bro. Kaleidoscope stripping, goddamn I'm tripping. Sipping shroom tea, looking at a blank television. Got a girl here gripping, thinking we'll do some business, but that's the last thing that I want. Seriously. Big dog, I'm on shirts now. Still scared that my house is gonna burn down. I'm a rare card, an old Charizard. Getting BJ's on a bench of a promenade. Don't know what to do, I got a lot of problems. Lot of emotional truths, I menage them. I'm getting robbed every time I get a coffee. Cause $6 is just too much.
Keep it on the low. We can keep it on the low. We can keep it on the low. But all you do is wrong.
Dream team, me and Galene and the four Beatles. Kidnapping whores illegally, pumping them full of needles. Eating Chinese till Steven asks us to order a pizza. Walk to run to get it, I can't do either. It's Sagdaddy the pod, don't think twice, just bob your head, dealing your chicken with no rice. It's Sagdaddy the pod, and on God I won't stop unless I wanna, that's kinda the deal, huh? It's Sagdaddy the pod, no need to deviate. Your ears are not the only holes that I'm about to penetrate. It's Sagdaddy the pod, so thanks for tuning in. Truman Show flow, if I don't see you, you can suck my dick.